What happens when the world's biggest crypto exchange decides it's above the law? Stick around and find out. I've seen it all. For nearly 25 years, I worked at the DOJ, where I investigated some of the largest antitrust cases in the country. Now in retirement, I'm working for you. Welcome to the Antitrust Insider. In less than a decade, Binance went from a startup launched by a former coder to a global crypto empire executing tens of billions of dollars in trades every day. But in 2023, that empire collided head-on with U.S. law enforcement, resulting in a $4.3 billion criminal penalty, the resignation and guilty plea of its CEO, and a warning shot to the entire crypto industry. Today, we'll break down how Binance rose to power, how it all came crashing down, and what lessons every business and every crypto investor needs to take away from this saga. Segment 1, the Binance story. Binance's story starts in 2017, when Changpeng Zhao, simply known as CZ, founded the company with a goal of creating the fastest and easiest way to trade cryptocurrencies. Zhao, a former high-frequency trading developer, was no stranger to building complex financial systems. His vision was simple: a borderless exchange that anyone, anywhere could use. That vision paid off. Within just a few years, Binance grew into the largest cryptocurrency exchange in the world, processing more than $76 billion in trades every single day at its peak. To put that in perspective, Binance, at its height, was moving more money daily than some of the world's most established stock exchanges. What made Binance so attractive to traders was its aggressive expansion and refusal to be tied down. The company was essentially headquarters free. It launched in China, shifted operations to Japan, then moved to Malta, and eventually adopted the stance that it was a global entity with no fixed home. Zhao called it an innovative business model, while regulators called it a recipe for evasion. For a while, Binance's meteoric rise looked unstoppable. The crypto boom of 2020 and 2021 sent trading volumes soaring, and Binance was at the center of the frenzy. But beneath the surface, serious cracks were forming. Internal documents later revealed alarmingly weak anti-money laundering and know-your-customer controls. Investigations uncovered that Binance had processed over $890 million in transactions linked to Iran, as well as thousands of trades tied to Cuba, Syria, terrorist organizations, and cybercrime groups. This wasn't a minor oversight. It was a systemic failure to monitor who was using the platform and for what purpose. By 2022 and 2023, regulators around the world were taking notice. The United Kingdom, Belgium, Canada, Nigeria, and the Netherlands all launched investigations. In the United States, the pressure escalated, and the Department of Justice, the CFTC, the SEC, FinCEN, and OFAC all opened cases against Binance. The legal challenges didn't stop there. Civil lawsuits began piling up, including a high-profile claim from the now-collapsed FTX, alleging Binance had misused $1.8 billion in funds.
Yeah, well, takes one to know one.
By October 2024, the lawsuits filed in 2023 had snowballed into a full-blown crisis. Regulators accused Binance of building its empire on deliberate non-compliance, lax oversight, and risky business practices. Segment 2, the collapse of Binance. The breaking point came in November 2023. Binance and CZ entered guilty pleas to a series of sweeping federal charges. The Department of Justice accused the company of violating the Bank Secrecy Act, failing to file even basic suspicious activity reports until mid-2022, operating an unlicensed money transmitting business, and breaching U.S. sanctions under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. As part of the settlement, Binance agreed to pay $4.3 billion in penalties, one of the largest corporate criminal fines in U.S. history. This wasn't just a financial hit, it was a seismic blow to the company's credibility. CZ himself resigned as CEO, pleaded guilty to anti-money laundering violations and personally paid about $200 million in penalties. The DOJ didn't mince words. Attorney General Merrick Garland declared Binance became the world's largest crypto exchange in part because of the crimes it committed. This statement wasn't just about Binance. It was a message to the entire crypto industry that regulatory patience had run out. Inside Binance, the fallout was immediate and chaotic. The company lost a wave of top executives, and reports surfaced of an internal investigator being fired after flagging market manipulation and poor compliance practices. The hits just kept on coming, and in March 2025, Binance suspended multiple employees from its wallet division amid allegations of insider trading and front-running token launches. Even after the DOJ settlement, Binance's legal troubles were far from over. The SEC continued its lawsuit alleging Binance treated its tokens like BNB and BUSD as unregulated securities. CFTC pressed forward with its 2023 lawsuit, accusing Binance and CZ of deliberately evading derivatives regulations. The $4.3 billion payout to the DOJ was massive, but it didn't end the company's legal exposure. Binance.US, the company's American arm, is still at risk of regulatory shutdown if the SEC wins its case. To steady the ship, Binance appointed Richard Teng, a former regulator, as CEO in late 2023. Teng's strategy has been to rebuild trust by emphasizing compliance. Under his leadership, Binance has collaborated with the FBI to freeze cartel funds, reportedly seizing around $200 million tied to criminal networks. But rebuilding credibility is proving to be a monumental task. Both US and UK regulators are tightening their oversight of the crypto sector, and many investors remain wary of Binance's future. The company once seemed untouchable is now fighting to survive in an industry where trust is everything. Segment 3, Lessons Learned. Lesson 1, compliance is not optional. Binance's story is a case study in what happens when a company tries to outgrow the rules. Its ask forgiveness later approach worked for a time, but the DOJ's crackdown made it clear. Regulatory compliance is not a suggestion, it's a requirement. As part of the settlement, Binance must now implement real AML and KYC systems, file regular suspicious activity reports, and accept independent oversight. For any business leader, this is a stark warning. Cut corners, and the cost will be astronomical. Lesson 2, global reach attracts global consequences. Operating in multiple jurisdictions gave Binance a competitive edge, but it also exposed the company to global scrutiny. By processing transactions from Iran, Syria, Cuba, and conflict zones, Binance crossed red lines that regulators worldwide were unwilling to ignore. The bigger you reach, the higher the stakes when you fail to follow international rules. Lesson 3, CEO accountability truly matters. The fall of CZ is a turning point for the tech and crypto industries. For years, many executives assumed they could hide behind the complex corporate structures or simply walk away from wrongdoing. CZ's guilty plea shattered that myth. When the DOJ comes along, the person at the top is expected to answer. This new precedent could ripple across the industry, holding other crypto executives personally responsible for corporate misconduct. Lesson 4, you can settle with the DOJ, but civil suits linger. The $4.3 billion plea deal with the DOJ made headlines, but it didn't end Binance's problems. The SEC and CFTC lawsuits remain active, each with the potential to impose additional penalties or restrictions. A settlement with one regulator often encourages others to dig deeper. The lesson here, legal battles rarely end with a single check, especially when your actions have global consequences. Lesson 5, markets crave stability and trust. Richard Teng's efforts to steer Binance toward compliance show that trust can be rebuilt, but it takes time. Markets don't forgive easily, and in a volatile industry like crypto, trust is as valuable as cash flow. Political and regulatory changes in the US and UK can still reshape the rules overnight, meaning Binance must not only play by the book, but also anticipate new chapters as they're written. The rise and fall of Binance is more than a story about one company. It's a reminder that innovation without accountability will eventually hit a wall. Whether you're a trader, an entrepreneur, or simply someone watching the crypto space, the lesson is simple. Trust, transparency, and compliance are not optional. They are the very foundation of survival. If you found this video helpful and informative, please hit that subscribe button, like, and comment. Until next time, stay vigilant, stay honest, and come back for more Antitrust Insider.